Hey guys, what is up? This is MetaStainky here with Kevin Luu. Kevin Luu, welcome to the show,
What's
bud.
going on, guys?
Hey man, so water tower, right? So that happened. That was a thing. The first ever tower event in MetaZoo history.
It's a great
and
event.
you made the top 32,
Yeah, I got really lucky.
right? You made the top 32, and after the first night, you had said you had topped, and I was like, dude, can I talk to you when it's all over and get a deck tip?
Yeah.
And you're
Always
like,
have
yeah,
to
of
talk about
course.
MetaZoo.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, everyone loves talking about
Right.
MetaZoo, especially if you play. So thanks, man. I appreciate you being on the show. It's just me tonight. MetaDoctor is a doctor, and so he is saving lives. So
definitely glad to be here, man.
he could not. Yeah, man, awesome, dude. So top 32, and you just found out you are in the top 10 on MPN.
Yeah, I've been
right.
just been playing. Just been playing a lot of MetaZoo.
Dude.
Like I wouldn't say even a lot of MetaZoo, but just been playing MetaZoo.
Been playing well,
Right.
So I guess it's safe to say that you're kind of a big deal.
I'm
right?
I'm definitely grinding. I wouldn't say I'm like a big deal, but like,
dude, that is
it's all really luck based because of these card games, the variants. It's hard to be like really consistent. You know what I mean? Being consistent and like kind of just like, because there's so many variables. You know what I mean? And like most of the game is to be able to like kind of like take away as many variables as possible by like meting against the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. For sure, and that's why you're here, man. I want to talk to you. I want to pick your brain a little bit. I want to get a good solid deck tech out there for just kind of what you were thinking and what you were running at Water Tower. So Water Tower, do you remember how many cards were in your deck?
I definitely played 40 cards.
40. You played 40. Say, what was your thought process behind 40?
First off, I definitely like the other game I play a lot of Magic. Yeah, so I play a lot of Magic. So the philosophy for playing MetaZoo is pretty much the same as Magic. Like it's like a resource game where you kind of use your resources to kind of cast like a spell, right? Just like kind of like, like auras. So playing 40 cards definitely felt a lot better because mostly like Magic decks are around like 60 to like 100 cards. And playing 40 cards just made it felt more like Yu-Gi-Oh! And you get to your cards faster. That's another reason why I just chose to play 40 on the Water Tower as well, because I definitely want to get to my cards faster, get to my frogs faster. And I'm not playing bookmarks as well, so it's like harder for me to even draw like the double to go that much deeper to get into the cards I need.
And I mean, the reason I asked that question is because you had to have 60% water in your deck, and so running 40 cards, let's see,
you have to have 24.
You have to have 24 water pages in your deck, and it just depends on how many aura you ran. It's depending on how many of those extra non-water flavor cards, I like to call them,
flex slots,
the flex slots in your deck. And so it looks like you ran 8 aura. Is that correct?
Yeah.
8 aura, okay.
For the safe spot, yeah. I've seen people running 6, which is kind of deep, to be honest.
That is very deep. That's gutsy, and I'd like to see, the guys who got into the top 4, how many aura were they running? Did it make that big of a difference?
The winner that actually won it had 6 auras.
6 aura. Did he go full Aurafax?
Yeah, he had the full 6 as well.
Okay.
The magnitude, the tooth, and the mermaid scales.
Right. Okay. So you went 8 aura, so that gave you 6 flex slots, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was strategic as well, right? So you had to figure out. Because you could have all water, right? But lightning in the bottles, as I see here on your deck, were a staple. I think lightning in the bottles appeared everywhere. I think everybody had them. At least I saw them everywhere. I know some people were running anti-potion.
It's just so good with frogs because you get to use the frog right away before he gets killed.
Yes.
One card I really regret I didn't play was definitely the walrus. The walrus that you need the goggles for. The walrus is so good because it had fleet because you could
Right.
attack the frog right away, and
Right.
I felt like I was missing that a lot because frog was giving me a lot of problems, especially day 2 because I lost to a guy that like kind of just ran away with frog.
Just frogged you to death. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
saw that a lot out there. So let's kind of scroll through your deck here and kind of look. And, I want to talk about each card, not each card,
Mhm.
but most of them, and kind of get your thought process on why you put it in your deck. So let's start with Bandage
For
Man.
sure.
Why Bandage
All
Man?
right. Bandage Man is probably one of the best wall kind of type of cards. It walls people up because it completely counters Water Baby.
Yeah,
Like
man.
Water Baby cannot attack through it unless you power up Reddit, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just, and for one aura, it just makes it so value.
Oh, dude, just
Unreal.
Bandage Man. He was going to be my MVP for sure. If I brought my cards and I didn't get to play, but he was. I was running a full stack of Bandage Man as well.
Yeah.
Because it just made sense. It just made
Putting
sense,
it-
especially with the Water Baby.
Putting under an aura fact like a mermaid scale or
Yep.
like a tooth and something, it makes
Yep.
it even more valuable because it protects it completely.
100%, man. And there's no one's getting through it unless it's a Chessie. So I mean,
Yep.
it was a great choice. How about the crab? You got the crustacean in there. So what's the thought process behind putting the crustaceans in there? You have 4 of them.
Crustacean is probably one of the best like creatures in the format, I'd say. Like it has 100 attack.
Yeah.
It's like it's a tank. It takes like it could block anything pretty much. It
could.
can block anything, and
Oh, yeah.
it forces your opponent to have a frog with bottle, and like forcing someone to have like a Chessie to answer your crab.
Yep, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Man. What about
I've had situations throughout the tournament where I just powered up my crab and it was just like they
Dude.
can't bounce it with Mania or whatever her name is, or like
Right.
you can't. There's just not a lot of answers to it, you know.
There's not, and even in a normal format, power up Reddit crab. That's almost game over. That's a tough one to come back from. Next thing I see here is a Fog Hawk. Tell me about it, man.
Yeah.
What
Foghog is
brought
amazing.
that into your deck?
That card's so good. It's definitely like a great card to kind of like have like a tempo play because it could bounce almost anything other than crab on your opponent's side of the field. And it being able to attack for 95 is huge. You can kill babies. You can kill Chessie. Being able to kill Chessie is pretty good. But the most important effect it has though is the fact that it deals 5 damage to everything when you activate it.
Right.
And that kind of, in a sense, counter frogs, because frog will sleep your whole field,
right,
or your whole board,
yeah,
and then
man.
when you fog hog, you're able to kind of wake up everything.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. So you were thinking multifaceted there. So like you said, you're trying to check off some boxes, right? You're like, okay, what's everyone going to play? You know, frog is going to be there. Definitely going to be putting things to sleep. You know what? Fog Hog, man. That's the quick and easy way to wake things up. I like that a lot. A lot.
Yeah. Also, it's just a great tempo play because like being able to just like return something to your opponent's hand and then making them cast it again. It's just like a huge like because like this game is huge on board presence. Like you really want to have a lot of things on the board. The more like pieces you have on the board over your opponent, like higher chances you are at like winning this type of game.
For sure.
So like
go ahead,
yeah, so like bouncing a whole like card to their hand, like sometimes like if you bounce a Chessie that they paid 4 mana for and they have to play it again, like that's almost like taking a whole turn off.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. You're delaying the whatever plan they were building in their head. You're delaying a whole nother turn. Yeah, that's huge. And in this game and in this format with the 3x, that could win a game.
Yeah, all the fourth wall effects active for Foghog too is crazy.
Yeah, man, that's great. That's a good choice. That's one that did not make my radar, and I'm glad you brought it to my attention because that's a huge card. That's awesome. And of course, you had 3 Water Baby.
I chose 3 because I expected people to understand Bandage Man was gonna be around. So like having 3 just felt like it was right because it was enough to pressure Aurifacts. It was enough to like kind of like aggro people out. But I've seen people play 6, so
yeah.
I
mean, I think I was going to have 4 or 5 in mine, and then a full stack of Bandage, a few crabs. So yeah, I mean, I was definitely gonna lean into the early Aurifact kills with the Water Babies. But yeah,
for
man,
me,
I think solid with the Bandage Man counter though.
Definitely. For me, like Water Baby just felt like it was replacing Bookmark for me because
Okay,
it
yeah,
was like almost like a card that draws you a card. Technically, it's like two cards itself. It's like a
sure,
2 for 1. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like a +1, right? Like a
right,
2 for 1.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Because like Bookmark's a +1, right?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah, it's a plus one.
so
Yep.
so Water Baby felt like that. Like especially if you kill an artifact, it becomes
Yep.
like way more value for you. You're plussing all the time, right?
Exactly. And then you also get the bookmark from Bandage Man too. So I mean, one of the things
Oh
water
yeah,
brings to the
yeah.
table is all that draw power, especially
Oh,
when you start getting
if
crabs
you
out.
could get a baby with a bandage man, dude, and you trigger infectious and make another bandage man,
Yep.
it just like gets unreal. Like it's
It's
so
it's
much
so
value.
so good, man. I
Yeah,
completely agree.
I've
Of
had
course, you had
situations where people actually attack into my artifact when they had a trap under it, but like
see,
I didn't have any goggles or anything, so it couldn't be the walrus. You know what I mean?
right, and
So it
you're wearing
had
a
to be the
bandage, right?
bandage man. Yeah,
Yeah, like you have a band-aid or a bandage on you
it
somewhere. Like, oh,
it's
what do you think
crazy
I'm playing?
when you flip it over, it has first strike, and they
Yep,
attack straight into it, like
that's
the first strike,
right,
and freezes right away. So Bandage Man
dude.
was amazing against crabs. That was another thought behind
Yeah.
Bandage Man because it was the only way that could you really wall out crabs and kind
Mm-hmm.
of take it off the board in a way for a couple turns at least with a frozen.
And then he's awake. He can't attack, so you're just going to start blocking things with it.
Yeah,
And still, if it doesn't kill it, you're still getting the frozen. So Bandage Man, in my opinion, MVP for me.
definitely.
And then you had two Chessies, and of course, I mean, duh, and two Ultima Haha. Now, did
Yeah.
you regret putting in two Ultima Hahas?
Uh I've liked them. They seem really powerful on paper, but definitely I could see those being like the walrus slots
Sure,
instead of the extra 4 slots. But when it is on the board, it's really powerful because they once if they can't answer it, it just kind of runs away with the game.
sure.
Yeah,
Definitely, but sometimes if you traded it out for a Chessie, maybe that's a game win instead of
right.
an almost win. I mean that's just how these games kind of go. And of course, two frogs, no
Yeah.
brainer there. Frog. So I don't know if you heard the last episode of the podcast or not, but I did give a formal retraction to my statement that I made in the previous episode before that of
How was that?
if you're playing a water beastie that does not have a Terra bonus, you're doing it wrong. And Doctor said, "What about the frog?" I said, no. If you play, and so I did make a formal retraction because the frog was
Right.
I had two frogs on my deck as well. But yeah, frog showed up big
Yeah,
all
frogs too
weekend.
good.
Just board control is a winner. Like
It's too good.
the games went a lot slower than I really anticipated because Frog was everywhere.
There are games where just like someone plays a turn 2 frog and the other person just never come back from it.
Exactly.
Because it really requires you to a lot. Like either you have the walrus or you have something with a bottle. You know, you really need a bottle or something else. That's why the walrus was so valued because in my deck, like I have bottles and babies to kind of get rid of frogs or bottles and something else. But like with the walrus itself, can just get rid of frogs. So like having that is just huge.
Yeah, fleet's a must when you're playing a frog for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, River of Time with River always active. That is another no-brainer in a water deck.
Unreal.
It's a free turn, hoping for the win or hoping for something to save
huge
your life.
Huge swings.
One of the two. I see you got a New Year's New Beginnings. I like that choice.
Yeah. Draw
like
7 is just amazing, man. Just draw 7, you can get into the bottles even if you tap out.
Yep. And you're hoping you're making your opponent throw away something good. You're hoping they're throwing away their bottles and you get to draw your own bottles.
I did New Year's someone and they tossed away 2 frogs, so I was like, wow, that's amazing because I didn't have to deal with that ever again.
That's
in
right.
that game, like the rest of the game.
Did you win
so
that match?
That made a lot. Oh, I did win that game for sure. Yeah,
see,
in the longer game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
That's not having to deal with frogs, so they just took away a lot of like removal because like water in that sense didn't really have a lot of removal, like kill spells.
Right.
So because Flood the Earth wasn't really a thing in that format.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah, unless you're trying to get rid of Power Up Red. That's about the only thing you're going to be doing with it.
Exactly. But you could fog hog something if they power up red like a baby or something or Chessie. You can fog hog
it as well. Yeah. That's exactly right, man. And then Mania, is that how do you pronounce that one? I always
Mania. Yeah, I think
Mania. Yeah, Mania. I knew that was going to be in all the top decks.
That guy's a staple for sure. Even just playing it as a 3-drop with flying, it's just like pretty good, dealing 90 damage.
Of course, man. And then, of course, you have your own power up red there. I like that play as well because, like you said, a power up red on a crab, especially in a ×3
Oh,
format.
insane.
Hey, that's a tough one to beat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had your bottles and your water aura and the mermaid scales, of course.
Yeah.
So what made you go with just 2 mermaid scales and no megalodon teeth or anything like that?
I have megalodon teeth in my sideboard in the archive, but I honestly didn't expect like any of my Aurifacts to live, like because the constructed water deck really doesn't really play Aurifacts, like the deck that like plays like the water control deck that plays in the constructed doesn't play Aurifacts because they use smoky in the smoky spirits kind of for the value for the frog, because you don't want the Aurifacts out there when you have the frog out there. But that's kind of like, because I do play like a decent amount of constructed water too, so like playing water was easier for me because I pretty much already had a deck for water.
Sure.
And kind of have an understanding of pretty much all the cards that are really good in water.
Okay, yeah. You sound like you have a lot of good water knowledge. So yeah, I mean, I was new to water preparing for the tournament, and so
water was one of the top tier decks like from the beginning. It was water and lightning and fearsome critter. That was like kind of like the rock paper scissors of the format for a long.
It was
for the longest time. Yeah.
And then Hornets. Yeah,
and then Hornets came out, made lightning a lot better.
It did, and then some other cards and some other sets made it lightning even better. Right?
I actually lost to a water player in my winning on at Caster Cup playing lightning. Unfortunately, because he got a power up right on a wood devil, so I was like, oh, I can't come back from this.
That's a tough
it was
one.
So
too.
rough.
Yeah,
and I missed the memo on wood devil at that time. Wood devil was just like the secret tech, definitely at that tournament.
It's because no one was doing deck techs like this, man. Getting in people's brains, trying to figure out what's good, what's not.
Yeah, it's crazy that Sean, the winner, actually played wood devil as well.
Yeah, he did. I saw that, which was a great choice.
I actually played their teammate. I played his team. I forgot his name actually, unfortunately. But like he was playing Wood Devil. He was playing Wood Devil as well, and he was telling me that like he was playing Wood Devil as a distraction, as a way for like your like to kind of like make you go attack. You kind of get like, instead of attacking something else, like maybe a frog or something. And it's good against it's good as a trap to be put under a frog, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and then you can deal some damage that way.
Yeah, but the fact that it gets like one shotted by Baby was just like a turn off for me. I've thought about playing it.
I definitely eyeballed my Wood Devil. I was like, I think there's other utility cards.
Yeah, I kind of want to bring my bonsai tree. Slot. You know what I mean? It's like,
I was like, is he playing growth? What is he doing over there? Yeah. So let's go to that sideboard, man.
Yeah,
for real. Yeah. You had Manta.
Yeah.
Which showed up in the finals, right?
One of the best cards in the format for sure. Just amazing. Giving something flying, and itself having flying and hitting for like 100 or something like that in that format is just insane.
Yeah, it was hitting for 140.
Yeah, 140. That's crazy.
Which is huge. And the only way you could touch it is if
can't kill a crab,
it or frogging it. Yeah.
Couldn't
kill a frog. I mean, it's right. It couldn't kill a frog. That is correct.
The crab, crab is insane, man, in that format.
Yeah, crab. And then Octopus. Did he make any debuts in your main deck while you were playing?
I don't remember signing him in.
Okay.
He didn't really make any like real major plays.
Sure.
And implications.
I toyed with him in my practices because he was pretty killer if you could do an Octopus Chessie combo.
Right. That could just be another walrus, though. If I actually
it could.
The walrus
You're right.
Tank,
You're right. Yeah.
Definitely another walrus.
That's a good point. And then you had Torrential. Now talk me through that one.
The Torrential River card was just like, in a sense for me, was a kind of way to use as like a removal spell. Like I use it to kind of knock down some crabs, because it ignores Stone Skin. So in a way, it could get crabs down to like 30 or 40 30 or 60 life, and then you could attack into it or with something else, like a baby.
Just get it out of the way. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sure.
And it draws your card too, and right off the bat, it deals 30 damage because of River being active. Right. When you have two of them chaining them, it's like pretty good as well.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I didn't think about that aspect of it,
because like I said, there really wasn't any like good removal spell, like ways to get rid of things.
Right. You just had to blow through things, right? You had to overpower them, or bounce them.
Yeah,
right?
or frog them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to frog. So you frog everything.
Frog
if
everything.
it's there, frog it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the toxic waters were a little bit of torrential fodder, and then maybe also getting rid of some flight and stuff.
That definitely bringing that package with torrential and the tooth is huge too, because you have a lot of 0 drops. Yep. But toxic water actually came in a lot more than all the other sideboard cards, because
okay.
There was a lot of things I couldn't deal with. A few of my opponents did play Ultima Haha, and I was I remember the game 1 when they did play it, I was in the back of my head, I was I need a frog, or there's really no other way I could deal with this.
Sure, exactly.
So toxic water makes it a lot easier to deal with.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and then of course dampen. Yeah, that's a good one to side in for sure.
I didn't really put them in as much, but okay. It's more of a gamble to put it in, because you really need to have it against River of Time. That's that's what you really want to put it in against, is River of Time. Exactly. Everything else is really there's no really other spells that people play that huge, other than New Year's and Power Up Red.
Right. I mean that would be the only 3 spells that I'd be okay, yeah, let's save some more.
Consider dampen.
Those. Yeah, exactly. You're playing the long game at that point. You're putting dampen is okay, this game's going to go a little longer. They're probably going to get to all their spells. Let's try and block some of these.
Definitely.
So, okay, cool, man. Yeah, man. So, you made it into the top 32. You got to 21st place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, man. I applaud you on that. That was
definitely
really
felt
cool.
good, because I did not make top 32 in the Caster Cup. So
right.
I was really close last time too, because I was really the last game I lost to Water, so it's I'm really really salty about it,
Yeah, man. I can't say I blame you on that one.
Yeah. But Caster Cup was a great time though. They gave us a lot of goodies, for sure.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah,
I think
the value was there.
I think the goodies are going to get better as the towers go.
Definitely.
I think the first tower was definitely a first time event.
Oh, that's so much value with the water aura.
Yeah, man. It was huge. I got a couple of those. I got a couple signed. It was a good event. So one last thing before we jump into maybe just a few things about Earth Tower. Yeah. I want to keep you.
I got time, man. I got time.
So what do you feel like were some common mistakes that either you or some of your opponents made that could have turned a game? Anything that stands out?
Honestly, I think the biggest mistake was definitely not playing Walrus. Because I felt all my friends I did meet up at the water tower, and all of them are playing Walrus. So I was ooh. Yeah. So throughout the whole tournament, I felt I was really missing that fleet. You know what I mean? I was really missing that two aura fleet to really get rid of something.
Yeah, I feel like you feel like you should have played Walrus. Is that correct?
Definitely. That was the biggest mistake. That was a big mistake for sure.
Yeah,
to not play Walrus.
So did the top guys play Walrus? I didn't see Walrus pop out in those.
Yeah, the second player, I think Abel is his name. Second place player, he played a bunch of Walrus, but not Sean. I don't think Sean played that many Walrus.
I didn't see any Walrus, but it's hard to see on the TV.
I remember he was playing 6 babies though. He's playing 6 babies with 6 water auras and 6 aura facts. So and then he also played 4 absorb auras in his list.
I mean. So. His Orphax did pay huge $20,000 dividends,
right?
In that final match where
I think
turn
it's just crazy
2 he had Manta.
Oh yeah,
so
I think it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy thinking you're playing Manta Ray, which is a 5-drop with 6 auras. So you realistically, if they get rid of all your Orphax, you have to draw all your auras pretty much to even cast a Manta Ray.
Hey, and he turned 2 Manta in that final match to take home the gold.
A lot of variance in this game. He was X2 day 1 too.
Yeah,
because I listened to one of his recent interviews with Meta Talk with Mr. Run It Up. You know what I mean? But
I'd love to get an interview with him. That'd be awesome.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, dude. So we know what you would change. You had Walrus in. So, man, looking toward Earth Tower. Let's just kind of jump into that real quick.
This is what I really want to get into.
Cool. Yeah.
Really want to talk about.
let's look at this for a second. So 3X, they announced Altaterra.
Yep.
How do you feel about City being on the
I'm
list?
surprised City was on the list, but it makes sense.
It will be in New York City.
It
right?
will be in New York City, yeah.
Which is the earthiest place you could have an Earth Tower.
Yeah.
So much.
If you
earth
see
and
New
mountains.
Jersey, it's kind of like that. All right. If you see it a little bit outside of like New York, like going to New Jersey.
Let me get on top of the Empire State Building and look into Jersey across the bay. And, okay, there's the Earth.
There's the Earth, yeah.
Yeah, but City, to me, that could change a lot of things.
I think Cement Worm is amazing.
Yes, that means Cement Worm is going to be huge.
Right.
And if people are risky enough now, I don't know if you know this or not, you may. To the best of my knowledge, I'm learning to say that now. To the best of my knowledge, I believe native is going to be legal.
Yeah, that's their decision. That's their decision.
That is going to change
more variants for sure.
So much, because if you get the Earth water fusion auras,
I also heard there's more fusion auras than Earth and water. Some guy said there might be Earth and forest.
Yes,
fusion auras as well.
I think they're gonna have one of probably like Earth and fire, Earth and water, Earth and forest.
Yeah.
I think are the three that I predict in this set. There may be one more. I can't really think of what it would be, but there's still Earth lightning. I think actually may be one.
So splashing other colors is going to be very very realistic thing.
Yes, and so my mind immediately went to, okay, wait, if City's active, and if you get your hands on some Earth sewer gators, they will be hitting so hard. Yeah. They will be hit hundreds of damage for a one drop.
But they get killed by cement worms, though, getting burrowed.
Yes, they do get killed. Just like it'd be this event's water baby.
Right.
But
you don't draw a card with Gator,
so Cactus Cat.
Baby drawing a card is huge. That's another thing about Earth, though. There's really no good like drawing power out of it. Like,
right, there's not. Earth is very clunky.
You might have to play with bookmarks in this format.
You might, and I was thinking of that too. So it's like, okay, how many cards do we run in this one? Are we running 43?
I still like 40 for sure.
To get more flex cards, to get in some So if you run 43 and you still only run 8 aura, you get I think 8 flex cards.
Yeah,
if my math is correct. So that gives you room for 2 bookmarks. You're lightning the bottles if you, which I still think those will help win.
They seem great, but I'm leaning heavy towards on Burrow. I think Burrow is going to be huge.
I mean,
huge
worms. A lot of things burrow in an Earth deck, right? So that's kind of tough. I've been looking through. I think there'll be a lot of Cactus Cats too. I mean, just because.
The fearsome critter aggro.
They're going to be the fearsome critter deck. It's basically going to be an Earth critter deck.
If you do compare it as like the water baby, like I think the Tahihan card, I believe. That card hits pretty hard. It's like 145 for 1 aura.
Yeah, he's going to be hitting real hard too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be crazy, but I think native is going to it's going to change it, man. I think. I said the same thing about Mania. I bought one day of Water Tower in anticipation of getting to play. Yay me! Because I knew that card was going to be in the winning deck.
Yeah, unfortunately, I picked it up for around like 90, dude, when the down market. You know what I mean?
Nice. But yeah, I think native cards are going to be in the winning deck. Actually, I know native cards are going to be in the winning deck.
I really hope they would just release the whole spoiler, such as just let everyone know what the cards actually are.
Well, they're gonna trickle it, right, like they always do. And from my memory banks, it seems like most all of the spoilers are known right before release.
Right.
So we'll probably have just like a couple days, 2-3 days right before release where we know the majority of the cards. to where we can either mentally start planning things out or get on TTS, hopefully, if someone's diligent enough, and really start running through some games. But then there's the extra layer of difficulty where you still had to get your hands on them.
Right.
Like,
yeah, the demands
so,
would be crazy for that, for the product. I also
yes.
heard like some stores, some partners might be just doing the pre-release before the week before the tower.
Sure.
So,
I know there's some rules that they have to follow. I'm not entirely sure what they are. I do know there has been talks of doing some pre-release events, but I think at pre-release events, and I could be wrong on this too, that they can only hand out release event boxes. So that would be the release event decks with was it 2 packs in their release event decks or 1 pack? So I think, but again, I could be wrong. But then I think partners can do as early as like the Wednesday or Thursday before that weekend,
right,
to do full.
At least the cards will be out there, though. That means like
right.
the information is going to be out there, the spoiler, all the cards.
Yeah, I really hope so, man. And you know,
I really think that
out where I'm
fusion
getting my
ore is going to
native
be worth a lot of money, honestly.
Dude,
And it's like that demand on those fusion ore is going to be huge.
I was talking to somebody. He's like, dude, if you rip a fusion ore, I may not even put it in my deck. I may just pop it on eBay real quick.
Yeah, have
and
you
say,
seen
hey,
people just like been picking up possessed ores like left and right,
yes,
like, and it's just been spiking?
Yeah, man, it's. I don't have one. I can't say I want one really. I'm still struggling to see the utility with it.
Right. It doesn't interact with the fusion ores either, because the fusion ore is like a special ore.
Exactly. So I'm having a hard time getting behind possessive aura.
Right.
But I think fusion auras are going to change the game.
Definitely.
They're going to change the game.
Definitely.
And especially for this Earth Tower, man, it's going to be crazy.
You can splash frog. You can play frog in this.
You know, that's. I was going to ask you about that. I really was, because if you get the water earth fusion aura, 1 or 2,
I think it might just be too deep, to be honest. But
it could be.
Yeah,
it could be.
Because Burrow is just so good against frog. Like anything that Burrows is good against frog.
Yeah. I mean, you are right. I mean, but you're playing against the big beasties at that point, right? So I mean, Burrow beasties, they only hit so hard, but even with 3x bonus, they're still in the hundreds. So it's still going to be a little bit longer of a game. So Earthquake is going to be
right.
useful, but not killer.
You play like what,
right?
10 Earthquakes in the archive?
yeah. All right, I'm going to side in all of my Earthquakes.
Yeah. I like that. And like, what's that one? Boulder Bash or something like that? It deals like 50.
Boulder Bash. Yeah,
52 BC.
Yeah, Rock Rain and Boulder Bash. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be exciting, man. But like you said, I really hope they release all the spoilers soon enough to where we can really wrap our heads around what possibly were we going to be hunting for.
Like, a lot of people are going to be reading cards. They're like, oh, what does that do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
never seeing cards for the first time, like, ever.
Dude, I myself, I'm looking like, okay, do I buy 2 boxes? Do I buy 3 boxes? Do I buy 4 boxes?
Just like, not even open a fusion aura.
Yeah, yeah, and still not get one. That
get
would
the
be
one
my
that you
luck.
don't need. Like, get like a forest, like a fire one or whatever. Something completely off.
So, something that I was like, well, I'll save this for a fire tower,
right
over there. June, going to Dallas. Yeah. But yeah, man, dude, thank you so much for letting me chat with you. It's been awesome, Kevin. You did well.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Congratulations on top 32 on 21st place.
Thank you.
Dude, another congratulations on making the top 10 on MPN. That's cool, man. That is really awesome.
You just got to play metas. You just got to play the game realistically.
You do, man. And like you were saying before, MetaZoo, like there is a lot of luck involved, right? Like,
definitely. It's from getting a paralyzed off a crab or getting paralyzed off a baby. Because I've seen a lot of people risk it. Like attacking baby into the crab just for the paralyze. You know what I mean?
Risk it for the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit.
You almost have to.
You got
to, man. Like when you're down, your back's against the wall.
Yeah.
Like
how you get rid of crabs?
It's either lose, just take the loss,
you got
or try for the win.
Selfish allergy.
Yeah.
You got shellfish allergy. It's like,
yeah. How can I prove that? You can't. Unless I go into anaphylactic shock, right?
Right.
But yeah, dude. The best caster doesn't always win, which which is a weird saying, right?
It's like that in a lot of card games.
Because
even Yu-Gi-Oh
you want to
has
say
a lot
that
of luck to it, right? Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, all of them.
it does. The heart of the cards is what is the best thing I've taken from Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Variants.
Heart of the cards, baby. Top decking it, baby.
Variants for sure. You got 3 of these in here,
Kevin.
You got top deck one of them.
You got to.
Yeah.
But man, thank you again so much for being on the show with me today. I look forward to running into you at Earth Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, I definitely don't want to play you, but hopefully, we both make top 32 at Earth, and maybe we'll see each other higher on in the event.
Yeah, let's share some ideas for sure before Earth.
Oh, dude, yeah, hit me up. We'll talk some more strategy. We'll play some games. And one of us will do good.
I do a lot of camera games, like over the camera, get like a webcam setup.
Okay, yeah. Over the camera or TTS, those are all great resources for people to play.
For sure.
Man, again, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, nice talking to you, man.